When I close my eyes, I can still see the vast ocean of stars stretched before me, an endless canvas of light painted across the blackest void. They told me before I left that space was silent, that I would hear nothing but the hum of my own craft and the rhythm of my breath inside the helmet. But they never told me that silence itself could be so loud, that it could press against my chest until I felt as though the universe itself was speaking without words. I was chosen to travel beyond Earth, beyond the familiar orbits of the planets we had mapped, and into the uncharted darkness where no human eyes had ever wandered. And now, as I tell you my story, I can only describe what I witnessed as both beautiful and terrifying, the kind of truth that no textbook or report could ever capture. The journey began like any other mission. My spacecraft carried me past the Moon, past Mars, past the cold emptiness between the giants. The Earth soon became a pale blue dot, shrinking behind me, fragile and distant. At first, I felt the thrill of adventure, the pride of representing humanity's unquenchable curiosity. But as days bled into weeks and weeks into months, the loneliness of the void began to seep into my bones. There were no voices, no laughter, no ordinary distractions, just the constant reminder that I was one small life drifting in a universe that didn't even know I existed. It is one thing to imagine infinity. It is another to stare directly into it. And yet amid that loneliness, I began to notice something strange. At first, it was only a flicker in the corner of my vision, a star that blinked in a way no other did. I thought it was a trick of the glass, a reflection from my instruments. But then it repeated, a pulse, a rhythm. It was not random, not natural. It was as if someone, or something, was signaling from across the abyss. My training told me to ignore it, to focus on navigation and data collection, but my human heart refused to let it go. Night after night, I would watch that same flicker, and each time it seemed to grow more deliberate, like a whisper calling me closer. My craft eventually crossed into a region of space uncharted by any telescope from Earth. Here, the stars seemed sharper, brighter, almost as though I had stepped into a different layer of reality. It was there that I saw it. A structure floating in the void, massive, ancient, and undeniably artificial. My heart nearly stopped. It was shaped like a ring, miles wide, glowing faintly with blue currents of energy that rippled across its surface. I had studied countless theories about extraterrestrial civilizations, but to see undeniable proof with my own eyes was beyond comprehension. My first instinct was fear. My second was awe. And my third, unshakable instinct was to go closer. The silence of my ship felt deafening as I approached. No alarms, no transmissions, no detectable life. Only that steady glow, as though the structure itself was alive, breathing in rhythms older than humanity itself. When I drifted near, the flickers I had seen for months matched perfectly with the pulses of its light. It had not been my imagination. I had been guided here. I remember whispering to myself, though no one could hear me, "This is not an accident." My hand trembled as I activated the scanners, but the data was meaningless. The technology was too advanced, too far beyond anything we understood. And yet, as impossible as it seemed, I knew what I had to do. I aligned my ship with the center of the ring. I don't know what force compelled me, curiosity, destiny, madness, but I felt it deep in my chest. The moment I crossed the threshold, the universe itself seemed to tear apart. Light bent into rivers of color, time stretched like liquid, and my body felt weightless and heavy all at once. There were no words for that moment, no science to explain it. It was as if I had been taken outside of reality and shown the threads that weave existence itself. And then, just as quickly, it ended. When I opened my eyes, I was no longer in the same sky. The stars were different, unfamiliar, arranged in constellations I had never seen before. Before me stretched a system of planets orbiting a golden sun, and one of those worlds glowed with oceans and clouds, a mirror of Earth, but untouched, unscarred, and alive. My breath caught in my throat. I had not only crossed space, I had crossed to another place entirely, perhaps another corner of the galaxy, perhaps even another universe. Humanity had dreamed of such discoveries for centuries, but now it was real, and I was the first human to stand witness. I orbited the planet, scanning its surface. Forests stretched endlessly, rivers carved silver veins across the land, and oceans shimmered with colors that seemed almost unreal. It was paradise. But then, I saw more. Lights, structures, cities. They were not human, but they were unmistakably built by intelligent hands. Towers reached into the sky, graceful and alien, powered by energies I could not identify. Yet, strangely, there was no movement, no ships, no signals of life. It was as though the world had been built and then abandoned, or perhaps its inhabitants had simply vanished. My chest grew tight with both wonder and dread. Was I looking at the ruins of a great civilization, or at a world waiting to be reborn? I remember leaning close to the glass, staring at those silent cities, and for the first time, I felt truly small. I realized then that humanity was not the center of the universe. We were not even the beginning. We were children stumbling into a cathedral built by gods we could not comprehend. And yet, as much as fear coursed through me, so did hope. If others had been here before, then the universe was not empty. It was alive with stories older than our species, waiting to be uncovered. For days I remained in orbit, sending signals, listening, waiting for a response. Sometimes I thought I could hear faint echoes, patterns hidden in the static, like voices carried on the wind of eternity. But they never formed into words I could understand. Perhaps they were welcoming me. Perhaps they were warning me. Or perhaps they were simply ghosts of a civilization long gone. Whatever the truth, I felt their presence. I was not alone, even in the silence. Eventually, I had to make a decision. I could attempt to land and risk never returning, or I could carry this discovery back to humanity, knowing it would change everything. I stared at that beautiful world one last time, at the cities glowing faintly beneath the clouds, and I whispered a promise to whoever might still be listening. We will come back. With a heavy heart, I turned my ship away, aligning once more with the ring that had brought me there. As I crossed back through its glowing heart, the colors consumed me again, and when I emerged, I was home, not at Earth, but at the stars I once recognized, the familiar constellations like old friends in the night. Now I tell you this not as a scientist, not as a commander, but as a human being who has looked into the heart of the universe and seen its secrets. Space is not empty. It is filled with voices, with histories, with invitations waiting for those brave enough to answer. And though fear walks hand in hand with wonder, I know this. Humanity was never meant to stay in one place. We were always meant to wander, to seek, to find what lies beyond. And when I looked into that alien sky and saw a second Earth shining like a jewel, I knew that our future was out there, waiting for us. Even now, when I close my eyes, I see it. The ring, the light, the cities, the silence that was not silence at all. And I know, with every beat of my heart, that we are not alone. We have never been alone. The universe is vast, alive, and patient, and it is only just beginning to tell us its story.